Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Seahawk Central News, the top source for UNCW's campus news, entertainment, and sports. I'm Janae Randall.
And I'm Sarah Lively, reminding you that as the holidays draw near, you can always stay tuned to Seahawk Central News, which is available 24/7 online at youtube.com/tealtv2010.
This week, you will hear about several holiday traditions that are occurring in and around the Wilmington area. You will get to hear the details on the upcoming One Tree Hill auction starting this weekend.
We will also catch you up on sports with Ben Tyson and the rest of the Seahawks sports team, along with the latest movie reviews with Chris Vickery.
The holiday edition of Seahawk Central News starts right now.
UNCW held its annual Wagsgiving Feast on Thursday, November 17th, just a week before Thanksgiving break. An estimated 4,000 students, faculty, and staff came to Wagner Dining Hall to take part in the tradition. The line began to form 2 hours before the doors opened, and we saw lines wrap down the sidewalks all the way to the corner stoplight. In total, it took 1,500 pounds of turkey, 800 pounds of mashed potatoes, 500 pounds of stuffing, and 500 pies to feed the crowd. A mini carnival and a live musical band by Nautilus, a UNCW student band, kept everyone entertained while waiting in line.
Aspiring comedians had the chance to give their best stand-up performance on Monday, November 21st at UNCW's Last Seahawk Standing. Travis Sullivan has more on the event, as well as an interview with the Last Seahawk Standing winner.
I'm here at the Bernie Center for the Last Seahawk Standing comedy competition tonight. It's a chance for some of the funny people of UNCW to get some laughs. The contestants were given 5 minutes on stage to rattle off jokes before a panel of judges gave them feedback and critiqued their performance. I'm here with Ricky Smalls, the winner of the Last Seahawk Standing competition. Ricky, how'd you get into stand-up comedy, and what's your inspiration behind it?
Well, this is actually the only time that I've done stand-up, well, the second time I've done stand-up comedy. And I just like making people laugh. My whole family is just crazy. My life's a big joke, so it's what I do. So it becomes pretty natural, really.
Well, how does it feel to be the winner of this and to be hosting the homecoming events for next year?
Oh, it feels kind of good, you know, nervous about, okay, how can I make it better, you know, the next time I go around. So hopefully I can come up with some more funny material to make people laugh. So.
Well, I thought you did a great job tonight, and
thank you very much.
Good luck with the future pursuits.
All right, thank you. You have a good day.
Yep. The event made for a fun, laugh-filled night in the Bernie Center, and it will be back next year for those of you who think you have what it takes. I'm Travis Sullivan with Seahawk Central News, Teal TV.
Now let's go outside and see what's up with Rachel Nagel on this week's Talk on the Walk. Rachel?
As yet another semester draws to an end, there's no denying that on everybody's mind, aside from finals, is the fact that winter break is coming up. Let's ask our fellow students what they have planned.
Once class is let out, I'm really excited to go home and see all my friends that are going to school all around North Carolina and stuff, and hang out and hopefully go on a vacation somewhere.
After school's out, I plan on completing some research for my honors project that I'm currently working on, and I also have the GRE on the 20th, so I'm going to be studying for that.
Once classes are over, I'm really excited to go home, see my dogs, and just to hang out with all my best friends that I grew up with in high school.
I'm really excited to go home for winter break because I'm from Maryland, so it's kind of far away and I don't get to see my friends all the time. I'm really excited for all the presents and all the cooking and stuff, and to see my family again after Thanksgiving.
I'm excited to hang out with my family and go to the Bahamas for a couple days.
Over winter break, I'm really excited to go back home to Charlotte and spend time with my younger brothers and make a little bit of money with a part-time job.
Over winter break, I'm going to go home, hopefully decide a major, work a lot, and hopefully have a good time.
Whether you're planning a fantastic vacation, going home to see your family and friends, or just sticking around in town, it seems as though everybody has something to look forward to. I'm Rachel Nagel for Seahawk Central News, Teal TV.
Flowers, lights, and Legos. Yes, even Legos. That's what visitors will see this year at Airlie Gardens' traditional holiday light display, Enchanted Airlie. Approximately 22 acres of the historic grounds will be decorated for the holiday season. Like last year, the Legos attraction will be returning. However, this year, designers chose to display a pirate and beach-themed Legos display to represent the Cape Fear region. According to garden director Jim McDaniel, at least 30,000 guests are expected to attend Enchanted Airlie this year. During a phone interview, McDaniel expressed to Teal TV that one of the things that is so magical about Airlie is that it helps bring families out together in the spirit of the holidays. Enchanted Airlie will resume until December 21st. For more information, please visit www.airliegardens.org.
The Full Belly Project is a nonprofit organization dedicated to teach people in rural communities how to manufacture technologies that can add value to local crops. It was founded by Jock Brandis and is located down on Castle Street. Brandis invented a peanut sheller to send to third world countries. Reporter Ann Christian Johns went to check it out and find out more about the Full Belly Project.
We're here at the Full Belly Project that helps people around the world in 35+ countries do things such as grind corn, pump water, and also shell peanuts.
This is Jock Brandis, founder of the Full Belly Project.
It actually started because I went over to Africa to do a favor for a friend who was a Peace Corps volunteer. And she was living in a small village in West Africa. They had a drinking water problem, and I went there to fix it, and while I was there I noticed women shelling peanuts with their hands late at night. And these are small sun-dried peanuts that are like little rocks. And literally their fingers were bleeding from doing this. It was the only thing they were going to have to take to market the next morning, and they needed cash for school fees and whatnot. The head of the Women's Association that handles all of the agricultural harvesting and marketing and processing for the village said, when I went back to America, could I find a simple machine that shells peanuts, some sort of hand-operated machine? I said, no problem, and I went back. And I discovered it doesn't exist. But I had promised that I was going to send it back.
But it didn't just end with a peanut sheller. The Full Belly Project has invented many other products that enable people to help themselves.
How can we rethink furniture in schoolrooms in the Philippines so that it can be rapidly transferred from being a classroom during the day, so at the end of the day the kids can go, and it's now a dormitory. And now if you want to make a bookcase, you go vertically, you drop these in, you just kind of stack these things up, or if you want a table, they go in like that, or if you want to have them side by side, they go like that. And everything just quickly, bang, bang, bang. The kids got it faster than you could possibly imagine. It was never that easy. At a certain point, someone has to get on the plane, and then we have to start shipping stuff over, and then we get more requests for other things, and of course I say yes, and we get into fundraising. Before you know, we have the Full Belly Project, and we do water, and we do sanitation, and we do food, and we do biodiesel and biofertilizer, and we work in 35 countries, including the United States. We have a big project going on in Appalachia right now, which I think is going to be really successful.
I'm Ann Christian Johns, Seahawk Central News, Teal TV. Back to you.
A UNCW senior takes on a new role as she places first in the nation's most competitive pageant. On November 12th, Sydney Perry was crowned Miss North Carolina USA 2012. Perry competed against 89 contestants at the High Point Theater and Exhibition Center in High Point, North Carolina. Perry, a marine biology major, will continue to compete for the title of Miss USA 2012 in Las Vegas early next year.
You know, every little girl dreams of growing up to be Miss USA.
I know, I sure did.
So congrats, Sydney. Now let's head over to the sports desk and check up with Ben Tyson and the rest of the Seahawks sports team. Ben?
Thanks, Sarah, and let me be the last to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. We'll start things off today with an appetizer. The women's basketball team faced off against the East Carolina Pirates at home on Sunday, November 20th. Our very own Ariel Lapid was there and has the highlights.
Hello, this is Ariel Lapid reporting from Trask Coliseum, where the UNCW women's basketball team hosted ECU in their home debut of the season. After starting the year with 3 road losses, an experience Coach Cooper Dyke described as being like baptism by fire, against Washington, Middle Tennessee, and NC State, the Seahawks rebounded with a 64-53 victory. Let's see the highlights.
Opening up with a little round-robin play, Tawana Lee has the touch from behind the arc. In final game stats, she posts double figures in points for the first time in her career. Clever ball play there with an Andrews assist. Jessica Freeman drains a three-pointer from the corner. Continuing to pound the glass, here's a layup from rookie Mandic. Weaver bodies her defender. No foul is called. And look at that net swish from downtown with a signature Alicia Andrews three-pointer. She moves up to 9th on the UNCW career three-point field goal record with draining a trio of three-pointers in the game.
The Lady Hawks jump back into action when they travel to Athens on November 30th to play Ohio. This is Ariel Lapid with Seahawks Central News, Teal TV.
Thanks, Ariel. The Lady Seahawks were only up by 1 with just under 12 minutes remaining when the score stood at 38-37, but 3 minutes later they had widened the margin, going on a 12-1 run and never looking back. The team shot a season-high 45.5% from the floor. Following the victory, Coach Cooper Dyke's crew improved to 1-3 on the season, and their next home game is versus Drexel on Sunday, December 4th at 1 p.m. Now to the main course. After losing 74-49 at the University of Dayton, the Seahawks played another Midwestern foe, Marshall University, at home in a pre-Thanksgiving barn burner. Sway, take it away.
Right from the opening tip, the Seahawks are hot, with Keith Rindelman facing up and shooting over his defender, before Adam Smith, doing what he does best, drains one from behind 3. And here's Freddie Jackson out behind the perimeter, right before he leaves his defender dancing with the stars before pulling up for the mid-range jumper. And here he is with the breakaway, showing that MJ and the Rice brothers weren't the last in flight. Here he is again with the acrobatic layup. Here's Adam Smith with the breakaway, landing it with a lot of hang time. Let's watch that again. Such a pretty layup. Here's Tanner Wilson from behind 3. But the Seahawks still fell 64-69.
The Hawks trailed by 11 at halftime, but fought back. Keith Rindelman led the way with 15 points, 11 coming in the second period. Freshman Adam Smith and Freddie Jackson each scored in double figures, and freshman Cedric Williams led all players with 11 rebounds. Marshall improved to 4-0 with the win. The Seahawks, however, fell to 0-3, but look to bounce back on Saturday against the Davidson Wildcats. Let's get to the highlights.
Coach Peterson had his crew ready to go on Saturday versus Davidson. Here we have KK Simmons taking the ball up the court. He would juke one defender, two defender, then jukes him again, takes him to the hoop for the 2 points early. UNCW was leading 15-8 at one point early. Here we have Cedric Williams finding Keith Rindelman in the post. Rindelman goes high above his defender and lays it in. Rindelman, big score on the day. Here Adam Smith jukes his defender, stops, pops, puts it in the hole for the deuce. Another big game for the freshmen. Speaking of freshmen, here we have Craig Ponder. Look at the move he puts on his two defenders and puts it in the hoop for the deuce. Celebrates with Adam Smith. Say, hey, that was a nice play, buddy. Then we have Adam Smith taking the ball here. He said, anything you can do, I can do equally as well or better. Puts it in the hoop. Davidson fans were in attendance, though. Davidson in Charlotte, not that far away. Here we have number 23, Tom Droney, draining it from downtown early in the contest. Then Chris Zarapowicz. This is how you want to play basketball, kids. Watch that, lays it up. The reverse behind the back, lays it up with the left hand on the left side. No defender could do anything about that. Here, number 24, Damon Brooks fights past two defenders and lays it in. Then Trevor Deloach at the other end of the court puts it in, his first big bucket of the year, trying to keep the Seahawks in it. Here, Cedric Williams doing the same thing with the big block. Craig Potter attempting to take it to the other end of the floor. He would not make it, though. Final score, Davidson 70, UNCW 67.
The Seahawks were seeing red and white after the defeat. Davidson advanced to 4-1 on the year, with the Seahawks falling to 0-4. Rindelman had a career-high 21 points. Adam Smith and Cedric Williams also scored in double figures, but it was the three-point arc that encapsulated the storyline. Davidson shot 7 for 24 from three-point land, while the Seahawks went 0 for 3. The Hawks have proven they can play close games with potential NCAA tournament talent and will try again in their next two games on the road. First up is Toledo and then Illinois State on Saturday, December 3rd. The men's and women's swimming and diving team traveled to Fairfax, Virginia on November 17th to compete in the annual Patriot Invitational, facing off against George Washington, Howard, American, George Mason, Seton Hall, Shippensburg, and the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. The Aquahawks kicked off the three-day event with a splash, nabbing 2 meet records in both the men's and women's 200 free relay. UNCW continued to shatter records across the board, setting new meet standards in the men's 400 medley relay and in individual events. Honorable mentions go to Stephen Conrad and Anna Munger. Conrad clocked in the record-winning time of 49.25 seconds in the 100 butterfly. 4-time CAA Swimmer of the Week, Munger posted a time of 23.28 seconds in the 50 free, shattering not only the meet record, but also setting a new top time in the CAA. Overall, the men finished second, with the Lady Hawks placing third. The Aquahawks hit the road again for the Georgia Fall Invitational on December 2nd through the 4th, their last meet before the new year. And for dessert, we have a cornucopia of national sports topics to touch on. First, the NBA lockout is finally tentatively over. Storylines going into the season include, can the Dallas Mavericks repeat? Mavs owner Mark Cuban and Finals MVP Dirk Nowitzki will receive their World Championship rings on Christmas Day at home versus the team they beat for the title, the Miami Heat. Speaking of the Heat, another offseason storyline was the marriage of Chris Bosh. We'll see if he can grow a pair on the court this year. Also, Kobe Bryant attempting to tie Michael Jordan with 6 finals victories, and the Lakers look to avenge their second-round playoff loss to the Mavs. We'll also see if the Boston Celtics can make another championship run. It would be Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce's second, their first coming in 2008. Switching sports, the NASCAR chase for the Sprint Cup went down to the last lap of the last race. Tony Stewart won the Ford 400 at Homestead Miami Speedway, his 5th win of the chase. Carl Edwards finished second and led the most laps, leaving the two tied in points. Unfortunately for Edwards, he hadn't won a race since Las Vegas, so Stewart won the tiebreaker for his 3rd Cup championship. He will go down in history as the only driver ever to win a Winston Cup, Nextel Cup, and Sprint Cup, the 3 title sponsors of the Cup Series since the beginning of the modern era in 1972. Well, that's all for now. Happy holidays, and keep on keeping on.
Most everyone has heard of the Fuzzy Peach and Coastal Cupcakes. Their businesses have capitalized because of great customer bases in Wilmington. But did you know these companies were all started by UNCW alumni? Teal TV's Caroline Keith has the story.
How does one even start a frozen yogurt shop?
A year or so, and we were just getting really bored. At our desk jobs is what we all had, and so it was like, we got to do something else.
So, Rocco, Wells, and Jason took a helping of frozen yogurt. The 3 UNCW graduates opened up the Fuzzy Peach. With 4 different locations in Wilmington, the sweet success started with a simple concept.
Don't be afraid of the answer no. So like always ask people questions. Even talking to, whether it be when we're talking to vendors or whoever it is, like we can ask them something, and we can't be afraid of them saying no, we can't do that for you.
Entrepreneur and UNCW student Oliver Wilcox wears more of a warning.
If you have passion for it, then start it, but make sure you go by the books from the beginning. My biggest mistake that I've made is not keeping track of money.
Wilcox screen prints his make money mindset on his clothes, urging all his fellow Seahawks to fly solo.
MOB stands for My Own Boss mentality, which is pretty much self-explanatory. Be your own boss. It's possible. Just do what you want to do, and you can make it happen if you do it.
I'm Caroline Keith, Seahawks Central News, Teal TV.
Although One Tree Hill wraps up shooting for its final season, fans will soon have the chance to take away a lasting piece of the show. During 2 different weekends in December, the general public will have the opportunity to attend the One Tree Hill wrap sale at EUE Screen Gem Studios. Over 15,000 pieces of the show's wardrobe items, artwork, and linens will be sold at fixed prices on December 2nd through the 4th. An auction of furniture and appliances will take place the following weekend from December 9th through the 11th. A website listing photos and more information about available items will be launched as the auction dates near.
Sammy the Seahawk can be found at almost any UNCW athletic event, and he can be seen at special events around campus. But what is it like to be behind the mask of our beloved school mascot? Reporter Rachel Nagel had the opportunity to sit down with Sammy and ask him this question and more.
Hi, I'm here with Sammy the Seahawk for the first ever interview with our school's mascot. Today we'll be asking the burning questions to find out who the man is behind the mascot. Hi Sammy, and thank you for joining us today.
Hey, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. First things first, let's get down and dirty. How did you get into mascotting?
Well, I started a little while back in high school, probably about seven years ago, I guess. It's been a little while. But I really loved it, man. I went out and I tried out for the high school or whatever, and they liked me, so I just did that for all the football games and got people hyped up, and ever since then, it was my passion. I just knew.
Great. Have you been the Seahawk for UNCW all 4 years that you've been here?
Yep, for all 4 years.
Great, and I understand that you're planning on retiring when you graduate in May.
Well, yeah, the students are only are allowed to be mascots or whatever. So when I graduate in May, I hope to take it on to like a whole other level. But we'll see what doors open up.
Are you in the process of training people to become the next mascot?
Yeah. So I mean, it's a lot of new freshmen come in. They want to be Sammy. They say, hey, like, how do I do this? Like, you're great. Like, what can I learn? Like. And it's a whole lot harder than a lot of people think. Once people get in the suit, they don't realize how hot it gets in here. It's ridiculous. Like your body temperature rises and you're constantly sweating. There's a lot of preparation you have to do before a lot of games, like water, like Gatorade, vitamin C, all kinds of stuff, or you'll pass out in here for sure.
We certainly learned a lot about the process of becoming a mascot, what it's like to be a mascot, and all of the ways it benefits the school and community as a whole. Thank you again to Sammy for joining us today, and I can't wait to see you at the next basketball game. Janae and Sarah, back to you. For one UNCW student, decorating for the holiday season has no limits. 7 years ago, senior Joshua Carnes wanted to do something different to help spread Christmas cheer during his lengthy work commute. With an inverter and a few extra strands of lights, he invented the Christmas van. Since, Carnes has made the Christmas van a holiday tradition, with each yearly edition being brighter and brighter. According to Carnes, the decorating process begins Thanksgiving week with hopes of being finished by Thanksgiving Day. This year, after 20 hours of nearly non-stop decorating, the Christmas van has a total of 1,200 lights. But that's not all. Inside, the van is decked out with garland, fake snow, ornaments, stockings, scented Christmas candles, candy canes, and even a Christmas portable DVD player. Each passenger has their very own Santa hat and access to a megaphone to help spread holiday cheer for all to hear. Carnes wants the Christmas van to be as interactive as possible, so this year he's added a little twist. He's created the van's very own Facebook page titled I Saw the Christmas Van. Anyone who sees the van around Wilmington can take a picture and upload it to the page at www.facebook.com/christmasvan. Carnes says this will likely be the Christmas van's last year running, so be on the lookout and don't miss your chance to see Wilmington's one and only Christmas van.
Next week, when classes are coming to a close, Dr. Tim Palmer's contemporary French cinema class is putting on a free French film festival. The films will be showing in Lumina Theater from December 4th to the 6th and are open to the public. According to Palmer, this festival is an exciting opportunity to see 7 films received from the French Ministry of Culture in 35mm format with English subtitles. These modern films will never be released on DVD, making this event a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. To get more information about Exclusive, the new French film festival, go to www.exclusivefestival.com.
Now it's time to hear what news comes from the big screen. Here's Chris Vickery with Critics on Campus. Chris?
Thanks, Janae. Welcome everyone to Critics on Campus, where we review the latest movies in the Wilmington area. I'm your host, Chris Vickery, alongside my co-host for the day, Cassie Hunter. As always, we did 2 movies this week, and the first is Tower Heist, a caper movie about the employees of a very prime piece of real estate in the middle of New York City getting back at one of the residents who pulled a Ponzi scheme on them and stole their pensions, leaving them essentially penniless. And it's starring Ben Stiller and Eddie Murphy and a lot of great actors supporting roles. What did you think of this one?
I thought it was absolutely hilarious. I wasn't really sure what to expect of it going in, but Eddie Murphy and Ben Stiller were a fantastic combination. Not to mention the actress from Precious completely surprised me with her funny lines.
And it's one of those movies where, again, I wasn't sure what to expect when I went into it. I knew it was going to try to be funny. But it really had me laughing, like genuinely laughing. I mean, Eddie Murphy is funny for the first time in years.
Absolutely. And on top of being really funny, it was also very clever and intelligent. I wasn't expecting the ending.
Yeah. I mean, and it was a surprise. It was a genuine surprise, which I feel like a lot of movies that come out now, you can really see the ending coming a mile away. This one will really kind of turn you around a little bit. And Ben Stiller doesn't have me cringing the entire time the way that he tends to in a lot of movies. And overall, it's just a fun movie to watch.
Yeah, as you said, it was nice to see Ben Stiller kind of take the role of the leader and not so much the clumsy screw-up as he does in most of his other films.
Yeah, and all in all, it's a big spectacle. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on. It's in the middle of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. In the middle of, it's actually filmed in Trump Tower. And just all these crazy set pieces that make it a wacky and enjoyable ride the whole way through. But out of 5 stars, what would you give this one?
I would have to give it 4 stars.
I'm going to have to agree with that. 4 stars for that one. It really came through in a week when not a lot of great movies were coming out. Which brings us to our next movie, coincidentally, Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 1. Not a lot to say about this one. There's Bella and Edward and Jacob and vampires and werewolves and a teenage girl in love or lust or something along those lines.
I think they were just trying to keep up with their tradition of making really subpar movies, and they succeeded.
Exceedingly so. I really was having trouble sitting through the entire 2 hours and 15 minutes of this movie. And it really did feel like watching MTV's 16 and Pregnant.
And none of that should be glamorized, first of all. But in addition to that, it was just very, very bad acting. And the part with the wolves, I couldn't help but laugh, and I wasn't supposed to be laughing.
It was a movie that was supposed to be part horror, part drama, and wound up being almost all comedy. It was so soap operatic that I was laughing through the entire movie. Either that or trying to hide underneath my hood because I wanted to get out. And, you know, all in all, it's a movie that I can understand why its fans are fans. It targets the fairy tale princess, you know, fantasy. It really does. It hones in on it, and it markets to that. And people who want that, it's pure unbridled imagination of the teenage feminine desire. And it's good for people who want that. But if you want anything mildly cinematic or enjoyable outside of that,
quality art.
Or quality art, you know, I'm not going to call this one art, but
yeah,
we'll call this one a movie and leave it at that. And you know, there's plenty more that didn't go right with this movie, but out of 5 stars, what are you giving this one?
I would have to give it 1 star.
Yeah, I can't. I feel bad giving it 1 star, but I'll give it a star because we can't give it no stars.
Yeah.
That's all for this week. Once again, I'm your host, Chris Vickery, here with Cassie Hunter. This segment was brought to you by Carmike Cinemas. Stay tuned next time for more reviews of the latest movies coming to the area.
Well, Seahawks, this is our last episode of Seahawks Central News for the semester. We wish the best of luck to all students taking exams and hope you have a safe, enjoyable holiday break. Remember, you can keep up with Seahawks Central News 24/7 by stopping by youtube.com/TealTV2010.
We'd like to thank you for tuning into our show, and we look forward to returning in January. So until then, happy holidays. I'm Janae Randall.
And I'm Sarah Lively, wishing you a very happy holiday with friends and family. So long, Seahawks.